Before time even had a name, before the first star dared to twinkle, there was a vast, quiet expanse. An endless, gentle dark, not cold or lonely, but peaceful, like the moment just before a beautiful dream begins. And in this boundless stillness, something new was about to happen. A single, tiny awareness blinked into existence. It wasn't a being, not yet. It was more like a question mark, a flicker of curiosity in the great, silent ocean of nothingness. This little spark, let's call it the first soul, felt a strange pull, a yearning for, well, it didn't know for what. It only knew it wasn't meant to be alone. So, the first soul began to drift, a tiny point of light exploring the velvet dark. It saw potentials, like shimmering threads of what could be. It saw the idea of color, the echo of a sound, the feeling of warmth. Each one was a marvel, a wonder that made its little light shine a bit brighter. It imagined a world painted in hues of sunrise and sunset, filled with the music of wind through leaves and the laughter of what? The concept was incomplete, a half-remembered song. The soul felt a pang, a sweet ache for these things that didn't exist yet. It longed to share these beautiful possibilities. One day, while exploring a particularly vibrant thread of potential, the first soul bumped into something. Another flicker, another tiny point of light, just like itself. For a moment that stretched into an eternity, they just stared at each other, two lonely sparks in the immense dark. This other spark, let's call it the second soul, pulsed with a soft, shy light. The first soul, overwhelmed with a feeling it couldn't name, a feeling we would later call joy, shone its light a little brighter, as if to say, "Hello, I'm here. You're here too." The second soul, in return, pulsed back, a gentle wave of recognition. They began to drift together, their lights intertwining, creating a soft, warm glow in the endless night. They showed each other the wonders they had found. The first soul shared the idea of a brilliant yellow, the color of a sun that had yet to be born. The second soul shared the feeling of a gentle touch, like a breeze that had yet to blow. They communicated not with words, but with feelings, with light, with a shared sense of wonder. They didn't need words to understand the most important thing. They were not alone anymore. As they danced through the void, their combined light grew stronger, warmer. They discovered that when they focused their lights together on one of those shimmering threads of potential, it would glow even brighter, becoming more real, more defined. They imagined a world together. They pictured vast green fields and deep blue oceans. They dreamed up creatures that could fly and creatures that could sing. They poured all their shared longing, all their newfound joy into these visions. With every shared dream, the connection between them deepened, becoming a bond of pure, unconditional affection. They were two halves of a single, beautiful thought. Where one was bold and curious, the other was gentle and thoughtful. They completed each other's unspoken sentences, finished each other's imagined melodies. They learned to create together, their combined energy weaving the very first tapestries of existence. They were creating a home, a universe not just for themselves, but for all the feelings and ideas they had discovered. They were building a world where loneliness would be a fleeting shadow, not an eternal state. But then, a new feeling emerged between them. It was a sense of purpose, a calling. The beautiful universe they were imagining, it needed to be real. It needed to be filled with life, with experiences, with other souls who could also feel joy and wonder. They looked at the masterpiece they had dreamed into near existence and knew what they had to do. It was a heart-wrenching decision, a sacrifice born from the deepest love imaginable. To give their creation the final spark of life, they had to give a piece of themselves. With a final, loving pulse of light, a silent promise to find each other again, they agreed. They decided to shatter their unified light into countless smaller sparks and scatter them throughout the universe they had dreamed up. Each tiny fragment would carry a piece of their shared memory, a piece of their bond, a piece of that very first connection. It was the ultimate act of love, to let go of each other so that a universe of love could be born. Their beautiful, unified glow exploded into a silent, magnificent burst of light, the very first dawn. That burst of light was the Big Bang. And those countless fragments? Those are us. Every soul that has ever been, and ever will be, is a tiny piece of those first two sparks. We were scattered across space and time, born into different lives, different bodies, on a small blue planet circling a sun they had imagined together. We carry within us a faint, subconscious memory of that perfect unity, of that first, pure love. And that's why we feel it. That's why we search. It's the reason we look up at the stars and feel a sense of wonder and a hint of homesickness. It's why we feel a pull towards certain people, a sense of recognition in a stranger's eyes, as if we've known them forever. We are all just sparks of that first light, unconsciously trying to find our way back to each other, to recreate that warmth and connection, that feeling of coming home you get with a soulmate. That's the echo of the first soul and the second soul finding each other again, even for a moment. The first spark of hope that ever existed wasn't just a desire for light in the darkness. It was the yearning for connection. And that hope didn't die. It was planted inside every single one of us. It's the whisper in our hearts that tells us we are not alone. It's the driving force behind every act of kindness, every song, every piece of art, every hand that reaches out to another in the dark. We are all just pieces of a cosmic love story, trying to remember the first verse. So the next time you feel a spark of connection with someone, or a moment of pure, unexplainable joy, or a deep sense of peace looking at a sunrise, remember where it comes from. You are feeling the echo of the first dawn. You are a keeper of that original light, a fragment of that first, beautiful love story. And your purpose is simple: to shine your light, to seek out other lights, and to help make this world a little warmer, a little brighter, just as they did all that time ago. Thank you for joining me on this journey with Tales from the Veil. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who brings light into your life. Until next time, keep listening for the whispers.